Hello. There was great excitement the other day when the postman delivered my box of silver clay goodies. I'm about to embark on the exciting journey of learning how to use silver clay, and I wanted to share the excitement of opening the beginner's pack with you. So here it is. Here it is. This is what it looks like, and we open it up. And it's full of exciting things. First of all, there is a work mat. Quite necessary when you're using silver clay to use a work mat, because the work mat helps the silver clay not stick to surfaces. Along with this is a piece of Teflon sheeting that is also non-stick. That's used for rolling the silver clay out onto, with a roller, just like a pastry roller, but this is a little lightweight thing, little lightweight tube for rolling out the silver clay. If any of you have done clay work, ceramics that is, a lot of the techniques used in ceramics are the same techniques used for silver clay. So here we have clay guides. Now the clay is rolled to between these guides so that you get an absolutely even thickness of clay sheet to work from. Two strips of perspex that will always give you clay that is that thick, so that you don't have thick pieces and thin pieces on one sheet. What else is there in this box? Well, there's the all-important silver clay itself. I am not going to open this packet because I don't want the clay drying out, but this is PM3C, which is probably the easiest clay to work with, because I believe it has the lowest shrinkage rate. As clay dries out, it tends to shrink. When it's put into the kiln, it will shrink even further. This has to be allowed for in designs. PMC3, I think, is I believe it to be one of the clays that has the lowest rate of shrinkage, which is why it's recommended. Also in here is a little tub of something called badger balm. And this is used to rub onto your hands and onto the tools that you use to stop the clay sticking to you and to work surfaces. So before you put the clay onto the Teflon sheet, it is rubbed with a little bit of badger balm like that, which helps the clay not to adhere to the Teflon sheet. It's quite pleasantly perfumed and very pleasant to use. Oh, what excitement. Also in here is the all-important torch. Because of course it is possible to torch fire silver clay. You don't absolutely have to have a kiln to fire silver clay in. It can be torch fired, and this pack provides you with a butane gas micro torch with its stand, and there are instructions on the back for using it. Also in the box, very exciting, a little set of tweezers for picking delicate pieces up with. A burnisher, very useful tool for burnishing a shine onto fired clay. This brings the clay up, the silver up. Once the clay has been fired, it is very, very pure silver, and it can be cleaned off using this steel brush. And if you want the shine to be even higher, it's burnished with this burnishing tool. and that brings it up to a really high mirror shine. When you're torch firing, it's necessary to put the clay onto a fire brick, so you're provided with one of those too. And this is a rubber block for working on. You can use this block to support any clay work you happen to be working on at the time. We haven't got to the end of it yet. There's a small piece of fine grit sandpaper for finishing off clay that has dried. It's gone to, this is prior to firing. You might want to clean it up a little bit, in which case this very fine grit sandpaper is what we use. There's a little brush here included in the pack, and that is for applying water to areas of the clay that you want to dampen slightly if you need to get other little lumps of clay to adhere to them. Also, when you're cleaning off the edges of silver clay, you have perhaps used a cutter to cut out a shape, and here's where I open the next box, a little pack of goodies. Included in this is a little cutter, a little circular cutter, and once you've stamped out your circle, there may be imperfections around the edge. One of the ways of getting rid of those imperfections is to dip the brush in a little bit of water and smooth them off like that on the clay. So there we have a small cutter and the brush, and I wanted to show you particularly the contents of this little packet, because there are some very tiny pieces in here that it would be quite easy to miss. So these are little accessories for making some cord, and two tiny texture sheets. I particularly like the little dragonfly one, because of course these can then be pushed down onto the surface of the clay to create this dragonfly pattern. And the little star has the word imagine impressed across the top of it. Also in this pack is this little piece of plastic tubing. Now what this is used for is for cutting a small hole in the clay while it's still wet, in order to create the hole to take a jump ring. That's what that's for. Very clever idea. Also in this pack, now I need my black surface, let's put this away to one side. Be careful, you might miss these. There are two jump rings, two silver jump rings, and three little, what are they? Cubic zirconia, I think. Cubic zirconia is fire safe. It won't disintegrate in flame, and of course you can set these into clay for a bit of a jewelled look. So be careful when you open this pack that you don't lose those. I nearly did. Now, although this is the basic contents of this kit, which gives you pretty much everything you need to make a start, of course Cookson's also stock a massive range of other things. Their catalogue, their brand new, hugely expanded catalogue, contains a section on silver clay, metal clay, precious clay, accessories. that is very, very comprehensive. From that, I bought this. This is a texture mat. The clay is rolled onto this so that even the back of your silver piece can have a texture on it. That is in the catalogue. Also in the catalogue are these straight blades. Because sometimes when you are, for example, cutting a strip of clay for a ring shank, you need to have very straight lines, and these blades are what are used. They are lethally sharp. They come with this rubber strip to protect the side that isn't the blade, and I do caution you when you're handling them to be very careful, because it would be very easy to cut yourself on them. These are also in the Cooksongold catalogue in the clay section. This is the Precious Metal Clay Super Starter Kit. I'm thrilled to have it. I am all ready to go. There are instructions inside this leaflet to create a textured pendant and some more general information about looking after precious metal clay jewellery. A list of the other types of metal clays that are available. You can get bronze, copper, if you can afford it, gold. And there are various other kits that you can get too. A fingerprint kit sounds interesting. There's also general information on hallmarking and a description of what precious metal clay actually is. So there is everything here to get a beginner like me started on making precious metal clay jewellery. It's another string to a jeweller's bow, which is going to be very useful, and I hope you found this video useful too. Thank you very much for watching.